Hey guys, Keith here. Um, Tonight's video, I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about cleaning up your models and channels, etc. Barry sent me his layout, says that he's got problems with it and wants it all cleaned up, and I thought I'd spend a little bit of time in a video sort of going through how to sort of check the health of your setup and maybe make some changes to make it a little bit more flexible. So look, to be honest, I've only been looking at this 10 minutes, so you're going to discover this pretty much as I do. Effectively here, this is quite interesting. He's gone and defined all of his universes here in increasing universe order. That's kind of neat, and yeah, that's definitely not a bad practice. This first universe appears to be probably an LOR box. It's hard to tell because it's obviously going over E131, so maybe it's not, maybe it's a Renard or something, I'm not sure. He then seems to have defined one universe per output on things like his Falcons and on his SAN devices and the like, and he hasn't used all of the channels in those universes. None of these things are particularly a problem. It's a little bit wasteful. I mean, effectively, this is 102 nodes on each output from a Falcon that's capable of over 600. But, you know, it's not a problem. It's not like it won't work or anything. So overall, wasteful, but okay. Definitely a lot of effort put into trying to get the number of channels right on each universe. Again, not entirely necessary, particularly not on a Falcon that's more than capable of just accepting all the 512. But again, not a problem. On much lower end controllers, you might want to optimize it down, but on a Falcon, it's entirely not necessary. His layout, we won't worry too much about the size of the image. The first thing you notice here is that he's obviously using absolute channels. I've spoken on a number of occasions why absolute channels is not a great way to set up your models. For those that have been around a while, of course, it was probably how you started, and it made a lot of sense at the time. But as you've probably found out since, when you use absolute channels and you start to move things around from year to year, certain changes can lead to a whole bunch of problems. And what people will often do is leave a whole bunch of empty channels so that if they need to change their model slightly, they have some room to move and they're not forced to go and renumber all of their models. So we're going to change this. We'll move this to the universe and start channel type format because it's a lot more flexible and doesn't need to change as easily. We can move things around. The other thing that we'd have a quick look at here is his check sequence. And there's a couple of things in the check sequence which look a little concerning. He has a number of overlaps here. These overlaps don't look intentional. So there's bush right side entrance. If I click on that, I've got to find it first. There's bush right side entrance. There it is. Or there's left side entrance, right side entrance. There it is there. So that's there. And that seems to be overlapping with open, which appears to be a matrix. And that's probably not right. Unfortunately, the biggest challenge I'm going to have is I don't actually understand how his setup's defined, but I would definitely suggest that's a mistake. The other thing you can see in his check sequence is he's got a lot of these issues around model groups in a preview containing things that are in another preview, and I'll talk a little bit about why this happens. Again, it's kind of hard for me to decide how to resolve this without speaking to Barry. Time zone, however, is a challenge, so we're going to have to do what we can do, and at least hopefully you'll walk away with a bit of an understanding of what's causing this and what some of the fixes might be. But let's start with the easy part, and the easy part is definitely going in and fixing up these channel numbers. Now, the easiest way to fix it is to come in here, click on it and get this pop up, which tells me that this one here is on universe 1 channel 14. So I can come down here and change that to universe 1 channel 14, the colon. And if this is right, it will stay on channel 14, which it does. We'll stretch this out. This format here is a little bit different than what you would be seeing in version 12. This is version 13, and we've reworked the way some of the start and end channels are displayed to be more consistent. 511, this is Universe 2 Channel 1. That's a pretty easy one. And to be honest, probably best practice is to start an element on Channel 1 unless it's chained together with something else. This one here seems to be on Universe 2 Channel 82. Okay, now, okay, so these are right and left. Well, actually, no, so this one here is Universe 3. So we'll put that on Universe 3, Channel 1. That one's okay, but this one's kind of odd. This one here, it starts on Universe 2, Channel 1 and finishes on 81. This one here finishes on 82. So this one actually seems to be connected to the same output, given that Universe 2 here seems to have 510. So I'm guessing that these things are both connected to port 1, but are actually chained together. That being the case, what I'd prefer to do here is to go in and map it to the end of the model. The end of the model is the right bottom garage vertical, and it's the first channel after the end. Now we want to make sure that this stays as 592 and 651, which it has. So that seems to be okay. Spread this out a little bit more so that it comes out okay. So that's okay. So we move on to this one. Okay, this one's on Universe 361. So again, this seems to be chained to the prior model. So again, we're going to go in and do model chaining. At the end of the model, the end is the left upper garage vertical appears to be the previous model. And again, it's the first channel after that. And we want to see that this stays on 1081, which it does. So it's all good. Universe 4 Channel 1, so that's going to be a #4:1. This one here is 5:1, #5:1. Always press enter or tab when you get off of this, otherwise sometimes these values don't stick. Okay, so this is 537. So again, this one appears to be chained. So we'll go in and we'll chain this one. End of model, upper eve A. It's going to be down the bottom. There it is. First channel after the end of it. Looks good. We're expecting it to be on 277. It's still on 277. It's all good. This one's on Universe 6:1. And this one here is on 670. So again, another one that appears to be chained. Again, we bring it up. End of model, lower angle eve A. Where are we? Lower angle eve A. First channel after the end of it, done. And so on down. This one here, I'm guessing, it's hard to tell because it's chaining. It doesn't actually give me the same nice universe channel number, but I'm guessing that this one is also connected to the end of it. So let's try that. So we'll come in here, we'll say this is at the end of the model, lower eve B, channel 1, and we're expecting this to say 2692, and it still says 2692, so that's okay. And this one again appears to be at the end of that one. So again, we'll come in and this is at the end of lower eve angle C, channel 1. Again, we're looking for it to say 2758, which it still does. And finally, yet another one on 6. So again, it's going to be the first channel at the end of model upper east west. And here we want to say 2848. It still says 2848, which is good. And then we've got another one that starts on channel 1, so it's #7:1. All good. Okay, so now we've got a matrix. This one here seems to go a fair way, right? But this is on universe 8, channel 1. Okay, and it actually goes through to universe 19. So this is from universe 8 through to universe 19 is all one model. Okay, so that's okay. That looks good. I'm going to quickly save this. Okay, and now, so that's all good. This one here, however, is also universe 8.1. So this is what you would call a shadow model. Although interestingly, he shows them in slightly different areas. And this one here happens to cover exactly the same channel range. It's entirely unclear to me why he would do that, other than potentially for visual effect is what I suspect he's doing it for. He wants to see the panels all alongside each other and potentially render an effect like it's going across all of them. So that's legitimately a shadow model. So which one is the original one? I would argue this is probably the one you want to actually show. This one is on 8, universe 8, channel 1. And I would argue that this one here is actually the shadow model. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to change this. And I'm going to say start of model. And this allows you to basically say this model is going to have the same chart channel as this center, where is it, center window matrix. And again, it's on channel 1, hopefully, and it is exactly the same. So it seems to have come across okay. So that means if I change the start address of this one will automatically change, which is exactly what we would want it to do. Then we have left. Okay, this one appears to be the shadow model. So let's come down to this one, which is probably the original model. In this case, it's universe 22, channel 1. And this one here is a shadow model. So we will come back into our dialog again. It's going to be the first channel at the start of model, left window matrix. So it should say 8263. It still does say 8263. So that looks good. A few more to go here, and bear with me. I think it's nothing like repetition to help people remember. So this one here is universe 28, channel 1. 29, channel 1. 30, channel 1. And it really is this easy to move away from absolute. Sorry, this was 31, channel 1. This one here is 32, channel 1. Okay, 32, channel 1. Okay, so here once again, this is the original model. This appears to be a shadow model. So again, we're going to come into here. Start of model. Right window matrix is the model. So right window matrix, and obviously we need channel 1. Make sure you put a channel 1 here. If you don't put channel 1 here, I'll show you what it does. So currently it's starting on 1129. Now it's jumped up hugely. And the reason it's done that is because it's taken that number, that 1129, and it's added it to the right window matrix start channel, and then said that's where I'm going to start, which is obviously crazy. So we actually want it to be a 1, and now the channels nicely overlap. It finishes on universe 4036. So this is probably, well, this is universe 48.1. #48:1, which is good. This one here, sorry, is, okay, so this is 4858. So this one again appears to be chained. So again, we're going to go back into our chaining dialog, end of model. left front door pillar, channel 1. It's going to be 17950. It's still 17950. All is good in the world. Again, this one appears to be chained. So again, we'll come in here, set this to 1, end of model. The model number is top pillar. Okay, and we're expecting it to say 18007. It still says 18007. And this one is 491. I realise this is tedious, but hey. I'd edit it and fast forward it to you, but I don't edit my videos. Oh, I have to get the right column. Hash 50 colon 1, I think it was, 18763. Well, no, it wasn't. It must have been 51. Yep, 18763, that looks right. The matrix tree is on universe 52 colon 1. Looks good. 55 colon 1. Okay, 5531. So again, we've got something that's chained together. I wonder why he's done this. So here, this appears to be his inside. Okay. Okay, I see why. Because he's wired his star from the inside out, and because of that, he hasn't been able to use the normal layered star. He's had to do it in separate stars, which is a little unfortunate. But at any rate, this one here is going to be at the end of that matrix star center. Don't forget to make it channel 1. So this is 20593. Yes, that looks good. This one here appears to be at the end of that one. So again, 1, end of model, matrix star, middle, 20653, 20653 it is. Okay, what's this one? This is one of our ones, so this is 56.1. Hash 56 colon 1. Looks good. So this is 56.211, yet this thing doesn't finish to 56.300. Right, so let's go ahead and have a look. Save that quickly, just in case. Let's go back and look at what's going on with 56. So 56 has only got 300 channels. So there, and this consumes 300 channels. So there is no way that this open matrix is located on universe 56. This is wrong. So this start channel here is clearly wrong. So we're going to leave this one for the moment and keep going on. So this is 57.1, and we'll come back to that one shortly. 58.1. Hat border, sorry, what was that? That was 59.1. 61. 6037. So again, we've got a chaining model here again. And it's at the end of one circle, appears to be. Yep, that looks about right. Again, another chaining model. The end of model 2 circle. Looks good. This one again appears to be chained. So again, this is going to be at the end of, and you can type this in. So 3 circle colon 1. Okay, turns out you can type it in, but only if you're good at typing it in. Oh. Did I? Did I just screw something up then? I think I did. Yeah. Okay. So it jumped up to 1 because when it tries to resolve a model name like this one has, and it can't find the model, it will automatically make it number 1. So we'll go back in and make it 3 circle, and that will fix it back up. And there it is. Looks good again. We obviously won't do typing because clearly I cannot. Maybe there's a space or something in the name, I'm not sure. This one's at the end of 4. Looking good. This one here must be at the end of 5. Don't forget the 1. Okay, we seem to have fixed them all up. Now, the only one we haven't fixed up is the open, because we really don't know where that belongs. But we do know it overlaps. If we click on the overlap channels and click on it, you can see that it definitely does overlap. This is interesting. It seems to overlap here and here. So let's go to all models, because I suspect we're missing a few things because we weren't seeing all the models. And so now we go up here and we notice that, yeah, we are missing some things. There's some things here that we didn't do. These We'll quickly put these ones in as well, #1:16. These are probably simple models, dumb strings, etc. You can chain these together if you want to, or you can just go and hard code in the fact of what channel they're on. It's really up to you. In the case here where you've got 4 snowflakes in a row, you might decide to chain them. It really doesn't matter. The important thing is if universe 1 moves, these guys are moving and you're not going to have to manually edit them. 119 #120. Okay, have we got any others? Well, look good, looks good, looks good. We're gonna, okay, there's our open matrix, which we knew was a problem. So what is this one? That's the hat matrix. Okay, so that should be on 57.1. So let's say that's 8 strings, 21 nodes. This one here, 1 string, 132 nodes. So it's clearly not the same, but I wonder if they're related. So let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look at Universe 57. So Universe 57 has 504 channels on it. This one here, let's bring this in a bit. Okay, that has, yeah, about that. It has 504 channels on it, right? So that's clearly correct. I'm really at a loss as to exactly what this thing is meant to be on. So let's all right, so we'll save that for a second. Let's go back and run our check sequence again though, right? Let's see what it has to say. So we are still getting our overlapping channels, which is all good. But what I want to look at is I want to see if there's any blocks of unused channels. So there are a few blocks of unused channels. So between Richard video board right and the left window matrix, and the left front door pillar, there's 3,570 unused channels, and there's 1,020 unused channels between the center window matrix and the left window matrix. I wonder if I should put it in there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and put it in one of these. So let's have a look at left front door pillar. Let's see where it starts. There it is. So this one is between 32 and 40. So I'm going to throw this thing onto Universe 41. And obviously Barry can fix it up later. Right, so now it's no longer overlapping. So you can move that around later wherever it happens to be. Quick check sequence. We just have our center, left and right window matrices overlapping, and that kind of makes a lot of sense. Those things are shadow models. I would expect those things to overlap. So the next problem we have is that when I look in the default, clearly things aren't right. These panels up here, which are clearly being used as shadow models, are appearing on my house preview, and I probably don't really want them there. What I want to do is I want to move those onto the unassigned. So let's take a quick look at those and see where they are, and they're definitely on the default. So let's move those to unassigned. Notice it didn't move. We'll come back to why that happens. We'll move that to unassigned as well. Okay, so they're all off in unassigned. So why are they still here? And the answer to that is because there is almost certainly a group here that contains them. Now, this is a bit weird. So here we have a whole house model that contains not only the whole house, but the shadow models as well. That doesn't make a lot of sense. If you imagine you're overlaying a bars effect on it, as you paint the bars across, you really want the bars to be painted on the things that you can see in the place that they are, so that the bar looks all lined up. But because these things are included in it, what's going to happen is it'll render the bar here, and then it will render the same channels when it goes over here. And so whatever color is over here might override this color over here. So we clearly need to edit this and remove our shadow models. So what were our shadow models called? So they're all called Richard something. So let's go back up to our whole house, find our Richard video boards. Here they are, and we're going to take them out of the group, which is good, but it's still here. So it's in some other group. All right, there's Richard's video matrix. Okay, so this one clearly doesn't need to be in all previews. Putting it in unassigned would be the best place for it. So it's gone away. Let's keep going up here. Our full house group, not quite sure why we have a whole house and a full house, but we have the same problem here. We have our Richard video boards in this group. We clearly don't want them in the group. They're gone. The front lawn trees, the Christmas hat. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, and Barry's Christmas layout has it again. So we're going to get rid of them one more time, and now they disappear. So, looking good. Got rid of all that clutter off the front of it. The rest of it, now that there are a bunch of things that appear in unassigned, which, okay, so whole house appears in unassigned. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You would normally put that in default. Rich's video matrix definitely belongs here. Not sure why his strobes are over here. Normally it's a bit unusual to put elements unless these things are no longer in his show, but I'm going to assume for the moment that these things are in his show. Well, maybe not these two things. They kind of seem a little bit odd. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to leave them unassigned. I think it's probably best. So let's go back to default. Okay, that's interesting. The strobes have come forward, which means the strobes are in a group, but so are these. Dad's gingerbread train and strobes. All right, so I'm going to make some executive decisions here. All right, so where's Dad's gingerbread train? I'm going to take it out of there because I don't think it belongs there. And this one was strobes 1. Again, doesn't look like it belongs there. So I'm going to take it out as well. All right. But these things have also been dragged forward, and I really don't know whether I should drag them forward or not. It looks plausible that that's where he would have them. So I'm going to come over to unassigned, and I think I'm going to bring those back into the default view. Now remember, the default view is the view that you see by default when you're sequencing. So that's the view you want to make look as much like your house as possible. Okay, so I'm going to assume that these things are shadow models, or maybe they're models that he used to have that he no longer uses it, and so he's thrown them up in the corner here out of the way, and the default is showing me what he actually still has. So hopefully that's a reasonably accurate representation of his house. The other thing that that should have done is cleaned up a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, it has. All of those warnings that we were previously getting about all of these things here saying, oh, this matrix is in this preview, but this other thing is in a different preview. All of these errors here were the things that we just fixed up. And now what you're seeing is the only thing that we've got left on this is a bunch of overlapping channels, which we know about because we deliberately went and did that. We wanted to create a shadow models for those things so we could display them alongside each other. And we get some warnings here about some gaps in our channels. And that's okay, right? So he's defined a bunch of excess things on his setup tab that he's not using, but that's okay. So to be honest, that's probably a pretty clean set of outputs. So at that point, you could say, well, look, that's probably good enough, and we'll just leave it at that. But let's imagine for the moment, there's one more set of changes that we can make, and that is where we've got a Falcon, there is this option here to upload to the Falcon the universe data that it should listen to, and also the output data, and configure the Falcon pretty much automatically from here. And as I look at how Barry's set his Falcons up, there's nothing that he's done here that's going to make that impossible. So let's set it up so that if he wanted to upload the configuration to the Falcon, he could do so. So the first thing that we see is that Universe 8 is going to port 1. So if I come back here to my layout, and this should still be sorted, right? This is this center window matrix which starts here. So I'm assuming that it's a 2811 matrix. I'm pretty sure it is. And it is starting on port 1. And so that basically says to the Falcon, or says to xLights, when you upload this configuration to the Falcon, configure port 1 to be a WS2811 port connected to this model. What it will also do is it will quickly realize that actually this uses more than just universe 1. In fact, it uses 19 universes. And that it's going to basically just keep pumping the data out across all of these channels down to here. And that's okay. xLights will take care of that. So that's all we need to do on that particular model. Let's have a look at what's on 20. Universe 20. We don't. Next thing we have is something on Universe 22. So what's Universe 22? Here it is. Okay, so that's on port 15 on his Falcon. So we go back again. Here it is. So again, we can do it here. 2811, and what did I say it was? Port 15. Did I say it was port 15? I now have to go back and check. Yes, port 15. Okay, so our port 15 on 2811 on our matrix is that one. Then we have 28. What's 28? So 28 is also on a Falcon, but it's on a receiver. And I'm going to be the first to admit at this point. So the way I think this works is that this is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is 21. So port 21 is what I believe this one is. I must admit I haven't tested this, but I'm going to assume that that is. And so this is WS2811:21. 29 happens to be connected to port 2 by the looks of things. So that's going to be port 22, because this was port 21. So this is going to be WS2811:22. And I'm going to guess that's WS2811:23 and WS2811:22. 24. We'll save that. Okay, so then we get to our right window matrix, which is on 32. So we'll come down to 32, and this is on another Falcon, and again, this one is on port 1. So again, WS2811:1. Okay. Let's go past that one then. Open. Now, remember open, we fudged. So I don't know where this really is connected. I definitely don't know what port it's connected on, so I'm not going to set anything there. This one here happens to be on universe 48.1. 48.1 is on, again, the F16. Again, I'm going to assume it's 17. It's not entirely clear to me that that's the case, but I'm going to have to assume it is. I am assuming that these are PISA port numbers, although, yeah, again, I'm not sure. So let's assume that this is port 17. 48 is on port 17, so WS2811:17. These things are chained together, so they're actually all on the same thing, so I don't actually need to put anything in there. Oh, actually, that's not true. I should also say these are on WS2811:17 and WS2811 port 17. The fact that they're on the same port's okay. xLights is smart enough to work out which one's the first and how many channels, etc., are connected, so it's all good. 49, the porch icicles. So what's 49? Okay, so that appears to be the next receiver. So if that was on 17, this is on 18. WS2811:18. I'm guessing these are 19. So WS2811:19. Okay, 51. Again. So if that was 19, this has got to be port 20. WS2811:20. Now, putting this data in, if this data turns out to be wrong, as long as Barry doesn't use this to upload to his Falcon controller, this will not cause him any harm at all. Okay, 52. So here's 52. Okay. That was 51, that was 20, so this must be 21. WS2811:21. And then this one here is way down here. So if that was 21, 22, 23, this has got to be 24. God, I hope I'm getting this right. This will also be on 24. Okay. The bush on the right side entrance is on 56. Okay, again, I can only assume that it's all on the same controller. Actually, look at that. That's on a SAN device. That's interesting. I could just drag that up. It actually wouldn't hurt anything at all. But that's definitely confusing. I wonder if I've got that wrong. That was on universe 50. What did I do with that? So that's clearly wrong. That universe is wrong, which means all of these is going to be one out. So I'm going to have to change that to 19. Change that to 20. change that to 23, 23, 23. All right, so we're back to the bush right side entrance. So that's 23, this is 24. The reason I knew that was wrong is if you look here at the IP address, this IP address is clearly wrong. Now, one of the things that I can do right now is I can drag this thing up all the way back up to the top here, and I can actually drop it here with all the others. The fact that this channel number is all changed dramatically is going to be automatically corrected. So if I go back and look at this model that's on port 50, its absolute channel number would have changed to be 2041. So where was our model on 50? It's going to be up here now, and there it is. So it's automatically changed all the channel numbers to match. And it's now a little bit easier for me to see because these things are now back in order and grouped by controller, which is good. Okay, where were we up to? Did we done this one? We had, that was 24. So this one here must be 25. WS2811, 25. WS2811, 26. WS2811, 27. WS2811, 28. We're going to copy this one because this one occurs just a few times. Don't forget to press tab. See how I didn't press tab there and it didn't hold the value. Paste it, press tab. Paste it, press tab. Paste it, press tab. Paste it, click away, go back, didn't take. Paste it, press tab. Okay, we seem to be done. So what have we done? Just to recap, we went in and we fixed up all of the start channel numbers to be universe and start channel wherever we could, where things were obviously physically connected to one another. We used model chaining. And all of that seems to have worked okay. Having done that, we could then come back to here and reorder our universes into an order which kept our controllers nice and neatly kept together, which is nice. We also went in and moved our models into the appropriate preview, which is good. So now our unassigned only contains the things that are either shadow models or don't appear to be being used. And then finally, we went through and we updated our controller outputs so that if we wanted to upload it to our Falcon later on, we could. So I would argue that Barry's setup now is in a much healthier state and he's going to be able to make changes pretty much willy-nilly. So, you know, if he wanted to come in here and change all of these things here to be 512 channels, which you can do, that would absolutely not harm his setup at all, despite the fact that all of these absolute channels have now changed. All of the models, if I come back here, will be all recalculated and all correct. And that's the power of using the universe number and start channel as the starting format. Now, the times where you can't use that is you obviously can't use that if you're using a USB type dongle. There you need to move to the output number and just start channel format, which just drops the hash and instead refers to this output number here when you're setting it up. But similar concepts apply. So guys, I hope you got something out of that, understand how to go through and clean up your setup and your layout, and hopefully it creates a much less painful setup for 2017. Thanks, guys.